But in the end, he nodded and said, "That's right, many people make it lively, with a face like Ta Van Thum." "Clearly," he said, not happy, questioning, "So what does the message wanting to meet me mean?" Thinking about the message from yesterday. Leng Te felt a bit guilty at that moment when Ta Van Thum asked if he really wanted to meet him. He answered, "Yes," and awkwardly turned his face away. He mumbled softly, "You didn't say I couldn't meet someone else." At this point, Ta Van Thum leaned in closer and asked what he said. Leng Te quickly replied, "Nothing. If that's the case, let's go play with the kids." Taking this opportunity, Leng Te enthusiastically introduced, "You don't know how kind-hearted our classmate Man Giach is. Before coming here, he even specially made handmade candy for the kids, and he can tell stories better than in the books." Man Giach looked at Leng Te, thinking, "What's this? I just helped a bit." Ta Van Thum smiled, not really smiling, like a moral model at this moment. At this point, a little girl shouted loudly, "Isn't that Tio Tree?" He climbed up to get the kite, and then at that moment, the three of them just noticed a boy climbing the tree. They hurriedly ran to the scene, and the boy on the tree was doing his best to get the kite. Unexpectedly, halfway up, he slipped and fell from the branch, luckily landing right into Man Giach's arms. After putting the boy down on the ground, Man Giach reminded him not to climb trees again. It's too dangerous. Leng Te felt that Man Giach had a lot of charisma. In the novel, he was the one everyone loved. Ta Van Thum must be blind not to notice him, so he turned to Ta Van Thum and said, "I can't leave here, or can you?" Man Giach and Ta Van Thum took Tio Tree to rest, and finally, the top student took the initiative to pursue the bunny. Then who said the bunny was too dumb, not even knowing the person he liked was him, to keep the story on track? Leng Te decided to risk it all, first calling Ta Van Thum and Man Giach to take Tio Tree to rest, then dragging them to the haunted house. In principle, they were locked in the haunted house by someone playing tricks on them, unable to find a way out. During the time they were alone together, the two began to chat, and finally, Ta Van Thum learned that Man Giach had secretly loved him for many years. Now he had to create an opportunity for the two male leads. Leng Te, with a plan in mind, ran to buy tickets. "Boss, give me 3 tickets. You've always been the one." The boss pretended to scare everyone. This was the first time he met customers wanting to scare him. "Where did the 3 of you come from? Don't talk nonsense." At this moment, the bunny just realized Ta Van Thum had somehow separated from the group and was standing alone under the tree, so he ran over to ask what was going on. Unexpectedly, hearing that the top student was scared of ghosts, and moreover stubbornly refusing to admit it, in the end, the bunny used a teasing strategy to succeed. He managed to pull Ta Van Thum into the haunted house. It had to be said that this haunted house was too professional. The gloomy atmosphere made the top student break out in a cold sweat. And just at that moment, a hand reached out towards Leng Te, scaring him so much that he fluffed up. He panicked and shouted loudly. After pushing Ta Van Thum and Man Giach aside, he dashed out the door, and Leng Te successfully closed the main door. Although Leng Te was scared to death, the plan seemed to have succeeded. He finally locked the two of them together. Now they just needed to open up to each other inside, and it would be okay. Just when the bunny was secretly happy, the closed door was kicked open. Leng Te also flew out, and Ta Van Thum's face clearly showed 2 words. "Not happy? Did you have fun, Leng Te?" Following the principle, at times like this, all it takes is a bright smile, wanting to smooth things over. He really didn't. I get why they didn't wait for someone to save them and just went straight for the door with violence. Seeing it like that, Ta Van Thum couldn't help but frown tightly. Following me, Leng Te felt like this was really the end. Then, the little bunny got pinned against the wall by the study nerd. Ta Van Thum's gaze was fierce. He invited me out just to set me up with Man Giach. The little bunny felt like the study nerd already knew everything. And why ask on purpose? Plus, he said he would cooperate. At this moment, Ta Van Thum felt super regretful. He said he wanted to cooperate, but still kept a bit of hope. The little bunny didn't understand what Ta Van Thum meant by that. Ta Van Thum didn't hide anymore and directly said things that scared the little bunny to death, compared to that morally questionable Man Giach. "I like you even more." Ta Van Thum boldly declared that the only person he wanted was him, referring to what was said earlier. The little bunny's matchmaking efforts made Tadokba extremely unhappy. He decided he wouldn't hold back anymore. "I'm more interested in you." The little bunny was so scared he hurriedly covered his little tail. "You better not be interested in bunny ears. The bunny ears and tail are just props. They won't show up again, and you can't have them." Ta Van Thum narrowed his eyes, leaning in closer to look at Leng Te. He didn't understand anything. Someone like him wanted to set up others. At that moment, Man Giach's voice rang out. "Leng Te, classmate Ta, what's going on?" Leng Te was about to answer when Ta Van Thum cut him off. "Do you know what it's like to like someone? Let me teach you." After saying that, Ta Van Thumb's naughty hand started to roam. He didn't know how he was being affected, nor did he understand why. He was always drawn to this guy, uncontrollably agreeing to his invitations. He kept preparing until he couldn't control himself anymore. Lang Te was left breathless by Ta Van Thumb's every move. He felt that if this continued, he might lose his bunny ears and tail. He pushed Ta Van Thumb away with all his might. "Don't go crazy!" Ta Van Thumb's gaze was like a hunter looking at his prey, staring at Lang Te. "And stop pretending. With what's happening now, don't you understand my desires?" After saying that, he pressed Lang Te against the wall again, turning his back toward him. "Lang Te, the person I want has always been you." Lang Te felt something, and his face immediately turned bright red. He fluffed up in resistance. "We can't!" Ta Van Thumb was stunned for a moment. Then, he buried his head in Lang Te's shoulder. "But what should I do? I'm not planning to let you go. Plus, you started the fire first." Lang Te turned around to try explaining. "If you insist on thinking of me as a bunny, then feel free to think that way. We're not from the same world, and you and Meng Jue are the ones who are, meant to be together." Ta Van Thumb found it really ridiculous. Meant to be? But I've never believed in that. "I'll give you 3 days to think about whether you want to be my boyfriend or not. If not, but you haven't finished your sentence." A loud noise suddenly rang out. Meng Jue opened the door. "Why are you forcing Lang Te?" Ta Van Thumb sneered. He considered this eavesdropping quite bold. Meng Jue didn't want to answer that question. He grabbed Lang Te's hand, wanting to leave. Ta Van Thumb directly stopped him. "What right do you have to take him away?" After saying that, he snatched Lang Te back. "He's mine!" Lang Te just felt like this world was going crazy. Meng Jue gritted his teeth, furious and trembling. "How could you be like this?" Ta Van Thumb glanced at him. "I spat out 2 weak words. Lang Te seriously can't take it anymore. Just stop it already. Let me handle this on my own for now." The two guys looked at Lang Te at the same time, and Lang Te just felt doomed. "System, what should I do? Get out of here now. The bunny has been kidnapped, and the one who took him is the main character." Right now, the system is kneeling on the floor, begging the bunny, who is super angry, "You know you messed up. Where have you been?" Every time it gets to the crucial moment, it disappears early. "I should have known better than to blindly follow your instructions to complete these tasks. As a side character like me, I shouldn't be getting in their way. But here I am, blocking their path to love. Well, now it's a total mess. The main storyline is completely tangled. The system, feeling a bit pitiful, clings to Lang Te's leg. Even though, if I were there, I wouldn't be able to do anything, just make you more annoyed. So I can only help a little to protect your eyes. Besides, even if the main storyline is a wreck, it doesn't affect us. Completing the initial task doesn't just mean finishing 5 tasks to pass, right? Right now, you've completed 3 tasks already. Lang Te thinks the system has a point, but this broken system has never been reliable. Can you trust it? At this moment, the phone rings, and it's Meng Jue sending a message to you. The two of them went to a cafe together. Meng Jue casually introduces the drink flavors here, which he really wants you to try. Look at the bunny, who suspiciously lifts the cup to drink. At this moment, Meng Jue is a bit angry, saying he really didn't expect Ta Van Thumb to force you. Lang Te looks a bit confused at Meng Jue. Right now, Meng Jue's face clearly shows his displeasure. If he bullies you, you have to tell me. I won't let him get away with it. The bunny says thank you. I won't let him do that. Boldly taking a sip of coffee. Lang Te, do you know? The moment I saw you, I felt we really clicked, like we were meant to be friends. So there are a few things I can't say to anyone else. Except you. Tell me, is this world fair? Why are some people born standing in the sunlight, while others have to hide in the dark? Lang Te always feels like Meng Jue is a bit off. Just as he was about to respond, he feels dizzy. When Lang Te opens his eyes again, he finds himself tied up. A person in black appears, welcoming him. Is my little bunny doing okay in this small world? The bunny is shocked. You're an AI? This person actually knows your identity. The person in black tells you not to be surprised. As long as I send you out of this world, I will let you go. So, the person in black wants to use oil to fry the bunny. Do you want to taste this flavor? The bunny is so scared that tears are streaming down. The person in black pulls down Lang Te's gag. Lang Te screams wildly. You know my identity, but don't you know I have to complete the mission to leave here? The person in black is silent for a moment, then lifts the oil can, mercilessly splashing it on Lang Te. Can't handle it? Then think of a way. A beautiful face like that, how painful would it be if it got burned? Right, classmate Lang Te. On the other side, Ta Van Thumb is looking for Lang Te. A classmate tells him. Lang Te has skipped the last gym class and left. Ta Van Thumb pauses. He left early? But the private driver just arrived to pick Lang Tae up and has been looking for you for half a day. Where could Lang Tae have gone? Ta Van Tham bravely fought against the strong armor to protect his wife. In the end, it was his wife who saved him, while the strong armor poured all the oil over Lang Tae. The strong armor wanted Lang Tae to help him leave this world. Not only could the little bunny not do this, but even the system couldn't. To keep the strong armor calm, he suggested that the strong armor let him complete the mission first, and then he would think of a way. But the strong armor wasn't someone easy to fool. How do you plan to help me? Lang Tae probably didn't know. Compared to your imagination, I understand you much better than that. I advise you to be honest. Otherwise, I won't hold back. After saying that, he flicked the lighter. Right now, I'll count to 3. Think carefully after the countdown ends. Without hesitation, the strong armor dropped the lighter. Yelling at Lang Tae, he said, "You basically can't leave this world." Seeing the flames about to engulf Lang Tae, Ta Van Tham appeared out of nowhere, shielding him. The lighter was knocked to the ground, but it had already ignited the oil spreading on the floor, starting to blaze fiercely. Ta Van Tham quickly untied Lang Tae. Ignoring the flames spreading on his body, Ta Van Tham gritted his teeth and continued to untie the ropes. The little bunny was worried and panicking to the point of tears, urging Ta Van Tham to run away and leave him behind. But Ta Van Tham yelled at Lang Tae to shut up and not waste words. In the end, the two managed to escape the fire. Ta Van Tham told the little bunny to wait outside for him. He couldn't let the kidnapper escape easily. The little bunny tried to stop him, but Ta Van Tham had already rushed into the flames. When Ta Van Tham returned, the strong armor was already hiding in a corner waiting for him. Then, taking advantage of Ta Van Tham's distraction, he pushed him down to the floor. He even took the chance to hit Ta Van Tham until he was dizzy. Looking at the high-achieving student, there was no way to fight back against him. The strong armor was even more frenzied, wanting to show off his heroism. Let him do it? Ta Van Tham wasn't so easily subdued. He used his strength to control the strong armor's hands, easily pushing him down. It was at this moment that Ta Van Tham discovered the kidnapper was the strong armor. Obviously, the strong armor wasn't afraid of his identity being exposed. He cried and laughed maniacally, saying, "People like you basically can't understand my feelings. I want to leave this place. I know only Lang Tae can take me away. Too bad he won't agree. Why do you all want to confront me?" He reached out towards Ta Van Tham. "Ta Van Tham, let's bury ourselves here together." Ta Van Tham paused. Before he could react, the back of his neck was attacked by the strong armor. The pain spread throughout his body. Taking this opportunity, the strong armor ran away. "Goodbye, Ta Van Tham." In Ta Van Tham's dazed mind, he heard the butler asking the doctor about his condition. The doctor expressed that it was lucky they saved him in time. He would probably wake up soon. When Ta Van Tham opened his eyes again, he saw the little bunny sitting by the bed. Then he heard the doctor recounting how the little bunny had saved him from the sea of flames. The little bunny said, "You saved me, so isn't it fair that I save you? But you're really heavy. It took a lot of effort to carry you." In reality, Lang Tae didn't carry Ta Van Tham. He and the system pulled him out while the strong armor chased after the little bunny. Ta Van Tham risked himself again to protect him. Both male leads disappeared at the same time, and the little world collapsed. Ta Van Tham was now wanted everywhere. At this moment, Lang Tae was heading towards the strong armor's house to steal things after the last time the strong armor captured him. I heard the butler asking the doctor about his condition. The doctor expressed how lucky it was that he was saved in time, and he should wake up soon. When Ta Van Tham opened his eyes again, he immediately saw the little bunny sitting by the bed. Then he heard the doctor say that the little bunny had saved him from the sea of flames. The little bunny even said, "You saved me, so why can't I save you? But dude, you're heavy. Carrying you is exhausting." In reality, Lang Tae didn't carry Ta Van Tham. He and the system dragged him out while the strong guy was chasing the little bunny. Ta Van Tham once again risked himself to protect him. Both male leads disappeared at the same time, and the little world collapsed. Ta Van Tham is now wanted dead or alive. At this moment, Lang Tae was heading towards the house of the strong guy to steal stuff after the last time the strong guy caught him. Oh my god. The dude immediately called the cops, and who even knows if they found him or not? Lang Tae is seriously confused. Wait, isn't Meng Jue the main character? Why is he turning dark? The system explains that similar situations have happened before. Maybe it's because the novel describes the main character's family in such a crude way. You gotta know that in this little world, they're all living people, and even a small incident can lead to a butterfly effect. Lang Tae arrives at Meng Jue's house, and the door isn't locked, like, it seems no one's home. He plans to finish the mission quickly, but then, before he can even act, a voice calls out to him, leaving the little bunny stunned. He looks at the person who just spoke. Meng Jue calmly says, "Lang Tae, you finally made it." Lang Tae glances at Meng Jue's outfit, realizing he needs to keep him calm first. Lang Tae speaks up, Meng Jue, no matter what you do to me, my answer will always be the same. I can't help you leave. The expression on Meng Jue's face is super cat-like, right? But why do you have to let me hear those words? Why give me hope? I really want to get out of here. Do you know how annoying it is to live a day for 10 years under the shadow of two parasites just begging the heavens for a little love? Lang Tae retorts, but that's not a reason for you to hurt me. And Ta Van Thum, Meng Jue looks at Lang Tae and says, you know, I really want to get out of here. Do you know how annoying it is to live a day for 10 years under the shadow of two parasites who only pray to the heavens for a little love? Lang Tae rebutted, but that's no reason for you to hurt me. And Tai Van Thom, Meng Jue looked up at Lang Tae, you know? You hurt me. And Ta Van Thom, the strong guy, looked up at Lang Tae. Do you know? The first time I saw you, I felt like you were different from everyone else. I thought I finally found the savior of my life, but turns out, you're not. Lang Tae goes silent for 2 seconds, then picks up the shirt that fell on the floor. Of my life already. Who knew you weren't? Lang Tae was silent for 2 seconds, then picked up the shirt that had fallen on the floor. Meng Jue calls out, if you got what you needed, then just go. Sorry this time, I just want to live a little longer under the sun. Even though Lang Tae feels Meng Jue's words are a bit weird, he quickly grabs his shirt and leaves. Even though he felt that Meng Jue's words were a bit strange, Lang Tae quickly hugged his shirt and left. Because being next to Meng Jue makes him feel scared. After stepping outside, Lang Tae realizes the system has disappeared again. This system always dies at the most crucial moments, just when Lang Tae is feeling sorry for Meng Jue, always losing their lives at the most crucial moment. Right when Lang Tae was still feeling pity for Meng Jue's unfortunate situation, it quietly appears behind him. Lang Tae instinctively turns around and sees Meng Jue swinging an axe at him. Lang Tae is so scared he falls to the ground, thinking his life is about to end, but just then, Ta Van Thum appears out of nowhere, shielding him. The cold axe blade comes down, Ta Van Thum disappears, and even Meng Jue vanishes. All that's left at the scene is an axe. The main system issues a warning. An unidentified virus has infiltrated the system. Disappeared. The scene was left with only an axe. The main system issued a warning. An unidentified virus has infiltrated the system. The little world collapses, and the main character, Ta Van Thum, mysteriously goes missing. A nationwide manhunt. Here we go, here we go. The little bunny is in the second little world now. At this moment, in a lavish room, a scene of forceful capture is unfolding, and the one doing the capturing is the current prince. Earlier, we talked about the first little world collapsing, and the main character, Ta Van Thum, disappearing, being hunted down all over the internet. In the room, the prince smugly looks at the man struggling on the bed. Hey, you know, your face and figure are way more beautiful than the guys at Kim Lang Lo. I'm definitely going to treat you well. The Thai foe is both angry and shy. How dare you drug me? Aren't you afraid the emperor will find out? The prince grins slyly at this, both angry and embarrassed. How dare you drug me? Don't you fear that his majesty will find out? The prince smiled slyly upon hearing this. My father dotes on me so much, he'll definitely understand it's because you shamelessly seduced me. Ku Chibang obediently followed me, and at that moment the prince's sly eyes suddenly widened. The little bunny was stunned. Who am I? Where is this? What am I doing? The system appeared to tell the little bunny. Knowing they had arrived in the second little world, this is a story set in ancient times. The male lead is a bottom. The prince's boy, a consort's son, is lost outside the palace, later using the identity of a servant to work in the Grand Tutor's residence. They fell in love at first sight, and then there's him. He is the prince with ulterior motives towards the Grand Tutor, constantly looking for trouble. After the male lead became the master of the Eastern Palace, he was sent back to the West Heaven. Hearing this, the little bunny frowned. So quickly to the second world already? Where's Ta Van Thum? Why did he disappear? The system shook its head. It didn't know why Ta Van Thum vanished. The system comforted Lang Tae. Don't worry, he. Surely nothing happened. After all, he is the male lead of the little world. The heavenly emperor definitely won't ignore him. The little bunny was still very worried. He is a living person. You all must find him. Then, the little bunny heard a moan. When he looked down, he was scared out of his wits. What am I doing? The system shyly covered its face. Your first mission in this world has arrived. You were so focused on the Grand Tutor that you tried to take him back, but unexpectedly, the Grand Tutor successfully fought back and escaped. You've made an enemy of him. The little bunny felt the plot was a bit familiar, so he was assigned the script of a pervert, huh? If that's the case, then let's play along. Lang Tae smiled wickedly. This time, Grand Tutor, you won't be able to run. Run? The Grand Tutor felt dizzy. Where did this prince learn to do this? He had no way to escape. Lang Tae waited for a long time, still not seeing the Grand Tutor escape. Suddenly, that person blushed and spat out 2 words. Help me! Then, Lang Te was counterattacked. Lang Te was completely stunned by this scene. You don't want to escape anymore? I am the prince. Do you dare to disrespect the prince? You, who plotted against the prince, how could the Grand Tutor do such shameless things? At this moment, Lang Te only had one thought in his head. I am the prince, below one person, above 10,000 people. Where is that heavenly principle? The Grand Tutor started to teach the little prince a lesson. This is clearly just throwing the bunny into the tiger's mouth. Previously, it was mentioned that the little bunny just crossed over. Arriving in the second little world, he was forced to complete a mission. In the end, he was bullied by the male lead. Right now, the little bunny was covered in hickeys. He soaked in the bathtub, cursing the male lead 1,000 times. He really didn't understand how everything turned. This is the second time it has turned out like this. In the previous world, the male lead also broke free from the ropes, and he had no strength to resist. Lang Te suspiciously asked the system, "Are you sure your information is correct? The script isn't having any issues, right?" The system nodded vigorously, confidently replied, "Of course. It's just that you tied him too tightly. In a sober situation, he couldn't escape." Hearing this, the little bunny fluffed up. "You're blaming me. It's all because the prince is too stupid. Even the rope wasn't tied well." The system sighed and comforted. "Of course I'm not blaming you, but the mission is urgent. We need to regain our spirits." Over here, the steward of the prince's residence came to report, "Your Highness, the spy just reported that the Grand Tutor has brought that servant into the residence." At the same time, the system also announced the second mission. Use the excuse to beat up the servant. The servant Lung has the looks of a handsome man, and also, with superb horse training skills, praised by the Grand Tutor, thus envied by the prince. After hearing the mission, Lang Te stood up. He didn't want to at all, he just drugged him now. "We still have to go to the Grand Chancellor's residence to offer a rabbit to the tiger over here." Inside the Grand Chancellor's residence, he is still troubled by what happened before. The Crown Prince is just a bit unruly, but now it's even worse. If it weren't for the medicine wearing off, who knows how absurd the situation would be. As the Grand Chancellor of the Crown Prince, I am the only one trusted by His Majesty. I absolutely cannot let His Majesty down. If the Crown Prince has gone crooked, then I need to straighten him out right now. The steward brought in a tray of snacks. "My lord, why are you already up? You still have injuries. You need to be careful." The Grand Chancellor expressed that it was nothing to worry about. He wanted to go outside for a stroll to clear his mind. The steward, seeing this, was a bit worried. "Do you know who hurt you? When you returned this morning, you were covered in wounds. Even your lip was torn." Hearing this, the Grand Chancellor fell silent and did not respond. Inside the stable, Lang Tiu was stroking a fine steed, his face expressionless. As the Grand Chancellor passed by, the steward couldn't help but compliment, "My lord, you truly have an eye for horses." The horse's taming ability is incredibly strong. If the horse has a strong personality like trampling through snow, it could definitely be tamed, but it needs to be brought to the front courtyard. In the Grand Chancellor's mind, images not meant for children flashed through, and he was somewhat astonished. Why was he thinking of the Crown Prince? The Crown Prince is not quite like he used to be. That charming appearance makes his heart itch. At this moment, the Grand Chancellor snapped back to reality. The Grand Chancellor instructed the steward not to call him to serve by my side anymore. "That person is disheveled. What kind of appearance is that? Tell him to dress properly." The steward was taken aback. "My lord, what's wrong with bringing that Nokia horse into the residence? The attitude is not like that." At this moment, Lang Te also arrived. Seeing him come, the Grand Chancellor raised an eyebrow and asked, "Why has your Highness come here?" Lang Te casually found a reason. "Today, while reading, I found a few places I didn't understand and wanted to ask for guidance." The Grand Chancellor's gaze turned cold. "Is your Highness really here to seek guidance?" The little rabbit felt a bit guilty, stammering, "Of course." The two of them went to the study. The Grand Chancellor held a ruler in his hand, tapping it a few times. "Does the Crown Prince have nothing else to say to me?" The little rabbit was startled and quickly stepped back, replying, I do. It seems today he can't escape, so he might as well just be honest. After all, the Grand Chancellor can't just kick him out." So Lang Te knelt down on the floor. "Grand Chancellor, I only made a mistake that any man would make. Please be lenient and forgive me." The Grand Chancellor was also stunned by this scene. He stepped closer to Lang Te. "You really know you were wrong?" The little rabbit trembled as he saw him getting closer. "I know I was wrong." Hearing this, the Grand Chancellor smirked, lifting the little rabbit's chin with the ruler in his hand. "If your Highness knows you were wrong, then please, your Highness." The Grand Chancellor not only spanked the little rabbit but also wanted to apply medicine himself. In the end, it was the Grand Chancellor who had to suffer. At this moment, the Grand Chancellor was lifting the Crown Prince's chin, saying this, invited His Highness to take off his clothes. Hearing this, the little rabbit was confused. Why does the Grand Chancellor express that your Highness is a man of his word? I should naturally believe it. Unfortunately, you have deceived me many times already. The little rabbit frowned. Then isn't it enough to just spank my hand? The Grand Chancellor looked down. Just put your hand out. There's so much flesh that it doesn't hurt anymore. Right now, if you want your Highness to remember, you need to hit somewhere else. Then the little rabbit quickly covered his little butt. No, no, this Crown Prince does not allow it. The Grand Chancellor smiled upon hearing this. Indeed, the Crown Prince still has a bit of shame. Perhaps he was taught badly by some scoundrels before. Personally applied the medicine. In the end, it was the Tai Fo who had to suffer. At this moment, the Tai Fo was lifting the prince's chin, saying, to invite His Highness to take off his clothes. Hearing this, the little rabbit was confused. Why does the Tai Fo express that His Highness is the word of a ruler? I should naturally believe. Too bad you've deceived me many times already. The little rabbit frowned upon hearing this. So your punishment for hitting me isn't okay? The Tai Fo looked down. Just put your hand out. There's so much meat that it doesn't hurt anymore. Right now, if you want His Highness to remember, then you have to hit somewhere else. Then the little rabbit hurriedly covered his little butt. No way, no way. This prince does not allow it. The Tai Fo smiled upon hearing this. Indeed, the prince still has a bit of shame. Perhaps he was taught badly by bad people in the past. But then, the advisor didn't continue teasing the prince anymore. He turned around and walked towards the desk, saying, Please sit down, Your Highness. The little bunny didn't understand which book was being referred to at that moment. The little bunny just realized he had been tricked earlier. But come on, don't use that method to scare someone. After that, the advisor started explaining. The little bunny sitting next to him felt incredibly bored, especially with the words of the sage. Then a series of ancient literary terms appeared. The little bunny felt his head spinning. When would he finally get to go on a mission? Suddenly, a thought popped into his head. He had a way to make the advisor stop lecturing. This method required sacrificing a bit of his looks. The little bunny called out to the advisor. I've heard these things at the academy before. Why are you explaining them in such detail? After saying that, he leaned closer to him, playfully asking, Or do you want to experience a two-person world with me? The advisor frowned tightly. Your Highness, are you really not going to repent even if it kills you? The little bunny, still fearless, leaned against the advisor's firm chest. Advisor, what are you saying? I'm a bit tired and want a hug. The advisor's gaze turned cold. You think Cheng Ning is soft-hearted, huh? You can say it but not do it? The little bunny was confused by this. Before he could react, the advisor had already restrained his hands. Advisor, what do you want to do? He saw the advisor tightly grip the ruler, saying nothing, and then hit him hard on the butt. The little bunny felt both pain and embarrassment. Stop hitting me, it hurts so much. The advisor snorted coldly and ordered him to stand up quickly. Your Highness, as a ruler, you can't even endure this little pain? The little bunny didn't care about his dignity. If you're not being hit, of course, you don't feel pain. Let me hit you and see. The advisor fell silent at this. Could it be that hitting the prince would hurt him? The prince's limbs were not agile, and his body was weak, so he was truly afraid of being hurt. Thinking of this, the advisor pressed the little bunny down again. Without saying a word, he started to take off his pants. The little bunny was puzzled. Why are you doing this? The advisor replied seriously. I need to check if the prince is injured. The little bunny struggled, not wanting to. He only had a slightly lower pain tolerance than normal people. He would be fine in a bit. At that moment, the advisor's expression darkened. Indeed, you're injured. I'll apply medicine for you. The little bunny refused, but the advisor continued. Cheng Ning had no indecent thoughts. That day when you did that with me, why didn't you hesitate at all? The little bunny didn't dare to retort, and just lay still for him to apply the medicine. Getting hit hurt 10 times more than applying medicine. The little bunny was in so much pain that he trembled. The advisor's gaze gradually changed, and he couldn't help but swallow hard, realizing that something was reacting inappropriately. The advisor quickly turned away, saying, The medicine is done. The little bunny didn't argue, being bullied by the male lead, who had just caught him red-handed. Earlier, it was mentioned that the advisor hit the little bunny's butt, and then he personally applied the medicine. As a result, the one who suffered was the advisor. The little bunny's second mission was to cause trouble for the male lead. At that moment, he was still sulking, lying against the window because his butt hurt. Unexpectedly, at that moment, the stable boy was leading a horse past here. Wasn't this the perfect opportunity to offer himself up? The little bunny quickly threw a jade pendant out the window in front of the stable boy. When he bent down to pick it up, the little bunny poked his head out, framing him perfectly. You thief! How dare you steal my jade pendant from the advisor's residence? How can a thief like you exist today? I will help the advisor clean up the mess, the little bunny shouted. Where are you? Bring me a whip. This scared the stable boy, who quickly knelt down. He pitifully looked up at the little bunny, pleading, I didn't steal your jade pendant. It fell next to me. I was just about to find the person who lost it. The little rabbit cleverly threw the jade pendant out the window in front of the horse servant. When he bent down to pick it up, the little rabbit stuck his head out, framing the situation perfectly. You thief! How dare you steal the jade pendant of this princess in the Tai Fo's residence? How can a thief like you exist today? This princess will clear out the Tai Fo's household, the little rabbit shouted. Where are you? Bring me a whip. This statement scared the horse servant, who quickly knelt down. He pitifully raised his head towards the little rabbit, pleading with his highness. I did not steal your jade pendant, it fell next to me. I was just about to find the person who lost it. The little bunny obviously can't let the nearly completed mission fail. He adjusts his outfit and strides confidently in front of the servant. No need for excuses. Watch my ROI. Little did he know, at that moment, the deputy heard the commotion and hurried over. Stop right there! As soon as he saw the deputy, the servant's expression changed instantly. The deputy was here, and he quickly put on his best acting skills. Tears are flowing, so pitiful, looking towards Lang Te. I'm sorry, your highness. With a noble identity, whether to hit or scold, the little man has no way to resist. But since childhood, my father taught me, to do everything must be upright and honorable. I truly did not do such a lowly thing. Hearing this, the deputy frowned tightly. He directed his gaze at Lang Te, reminding the prince where and when his jade pendant went missing and when it appeared in his hands. When asked by his father, the little bunny felt a bit guilty, stammering that he probably knew some martial arts. Just a moment ago, the pendant was gone in the blink of an eye. The deputy leaned closer to the prince. How dare he get close to him? He really doesn't understand how a tiny servant in my manor has the ability to take things from afar. Then he told the servant to get up, saying this might be a misunderstanding of the prince. The servant still pretended to be pitiful, thanking the deputy. In reality, at this moment, the servant was secretly overjoyed. He was truly alive again. What happened was exactly like in his past life. This time, he would definitely borrow the prince's power to restore his identity. As long as the prince, the more arrogant he is, the more the deputy will love him. Over here, Lang Te was not convinced. With the ROI in hand, he had to complete the mission. Is the deputy being too lenient? Not saying 2 or 3 words and already wanting to clear his name. Even if I misunderstood, the deputy shouldn't be so forgiving to a servant in the manor. Although feeling guilty inside, he threw the ROI towards the servant. As a result, he accidentally slipped and made the ROI hit his face. Suddenly, the atmosphere became extremely awkward. Lang Te stammered an excuse, saying he just used the ROI in a very effective way. Did you see? The servant also felt embarrassed. This opportunity was a disaster. If the prince wants to hit me, I will obey. The deputy doesn't need to spare me. Your highness, with a noble identity, what is it to suffer a little grievance? Looking at the servant crying pitifully beside him. Inside, the deputy suddenly felt a strange sensation rise. He said with a serious face, You can tame the strong snow but cry in fear of a ROI falling from the sky. Really? The servant felt guilty upon hearing this, explaining that it was his first time meeting someone of high status like the prince. He couldn't help but feel scared. The deputy was lazy. Hearing the servant's excuse, he ordered him to step back. From now on, stay away from this place. The deputy understood very well about the prince. Even though the prince could be a bit arrogant, this servant's courage was too small. A little movement, and he was already a mess. The servant replied yes, but inside, he was extremely confused. What is going on? This situation is completely opposite to his past life. The deputy not only didn't scold the prince, but also didn't take him back to his room to apply medicine. Why was the deputy so indifferent towards him? At this moment, the sky suddenly thundered. Seeing this, the deputy proactively suggested, Your Highness, it's getting late. Let me take you back to the palace. The little bunny nodded in agreement. As soon as he agreed, the system suddenly appeared to remind him that there was a new mission. No returning. In the end, after the little bunny's pleading, the deputy finally agreed to let him stay. Seeing that it was getting late, he guessed that the deputy had already rested. The little bunny secretly told himself he could definitely win quickly. He sneakily peeked into the room, and his eyes immediately widened. The deputy was still soaking in the bathtub. The little bunny tried to force himself to calm down. It's a small thing. A small thing. Who hasn't seen a man bathe, right? The little rabbit secretly thought he could definitely win quickly. The little rabbit sneakily peeked into the room, and his eyes immediately widened. The Tai Fo was still soaking in the bathtub. The little rabbit tried to force himself to calm down. It's a small thing, a small thing. Who hasn't seen a man shower, right? But it's already 3 in the morning. Why is the deputy still taking a shower? Like, why stay up so late? I hear some noise. In the room, it seems like everyone has gone to bed, and the little bunny tiptoes into the room.